What is APA style? APA style refers to a set of rules for formatting, writing, and citing your research for an academic paper or project. It is commonly used in the social sciences, business, and health sciences. The style rules are published in the Publication Manual of the American Psychological Association. Updated every few years, the manual is currently in its 7th edition. There are 2 parts to citing in APA: in-text citations and reference list entries. Both parts need to be included for your citations to be correct. In-text citations appear directly after you use information within the body of your work. They are brief citations to get your reader to the reference list, where they can find out more. The in-text citation usually consists of the author or creator's last name, followed by a comma, then the date when the work was published, inside of parentheses. If you use a direct quote or take something word for word from the source, you also need to include the information about what part of the source you used, such as the page number. For video or audio sources, use a timestamp instead of a page number. If there are 2 authors, list them both. If there are 3 or more authors, list the first author, followed by et al. If there's no author, use the title of the work instead. If there is no date, use the abbreviation N.D. for no date. If you use the author's name within your sentence, include the date in parentheses immediately following the author's name, instead of at the end of the sentence. The reference list includes all works that you cited within your project. You might cite one article several times throughout your paper, but it only needs to be included once in your reference list. A reference list entry provides the full details of how to locate that work. References are arranged in alphabetical order by the first piece of information in the list. The information you need to cite a work depends on the type of information. APA uses 4 major elements or components that make up the reference: author, date, title, and source. The first element is the author, or the person responsible for the work that you are citing. In APA references, never write out the full first name of the author. Instead, use only their last name and first and middle initials. Next is the date for the work, or when it was published. The date immediately follows the author, inside of parentheses. If the date is unknown, use the abbreviation N.D. to stand for no date. Then comes the title of the work, which is the name of what you are citing. APA writes out titles and reference entries a little differently than standard grammar rules. In APA references, write the title of what you're citing in sentence case, even if it's written in title case in the original work. This means you should only capitalize the first word and any proper nouns, like you would in a regular sentence inside of your paper. The rest of the citation will vary, depending on the type of information that it is. 3 of the most common works you will cite are articles from a journal, websites, and books. To cite a print book, you only need 4 pieces of information: the author or authors, the date of publication, the title, and the publisher. Author last name, comma, author first initial, period. Publication date in parentheses, period. Title of the book in sentence case in italics, period. Publisher, period. Some newer books might also have a DOI, or Digital Object Identifier, which is a unique identifier for articles, books, and other materials. If it has a DOI listed, add this number with the prefix https://doi.org/. Citing an article gets a bit more complicated since it's a piece of a larger work. You need to describe both the article and the larger work that it's part of. First, we describe the article itself. Author last name, comma, author first initial, period. Date in parentheses, period. Title of article, period. Remember to use sentence case for the work's title. Also, in APA, we do not need to put quotation marks around the title for articles. Next, we describe the larger work, the journal. Since this is not the title of the work that we are citing, we can use regular title case for the title of the journal and write it in italics. Title of journal in italics, comma, volume number in italics, issue number in parentheses, comma, page numbers, period. If the article has a DOI, it will be listed in the database record for that article. If so, list the DOI number with the prefix. You likely accessed the article through one of the library databases. If this is the case, you don't need to add anything else to your citation. If the article was accessed freely online and not from one of the library databases, and it doesn't have a DOI number, You can add a link to the article as well. Citing websites can get tricky since they often don't have consistent information. Try to find as much information as you can for the web page. The citation for a web page starts the same as for a book or article, with the author. Author last name, comma, author first initial, period. Date in parentheses, period. Title of web page in sentence case, period. Many times, you won't be able to find an author for a web page. In that case, move the title to the front of the citation, ahead of the date. If there's no date on the web page, include the abbreviation N period D period in parentheses in its place. Next, add the source, or the larger work where the web page came from. This is often the name of the website as a whole. Title of website in italics, period. Finally, include the full link to the web page. These are just a few common types of citations. Not everything will fit this pattern. For more examples of citing different types of resources in APA style, visit the LSC Library's Citation Help Guides.